Chief Operating Officer of Fremantle Media and Chief Creative Officer of FMX, Fremantle Media's experimental division focused on non-linear broadband-enabled projects, considers storytelling in the digital age. Rejecting a narrow view of the respective roles of the professional storyteller and the amateur audience, he will argue for new kinds of narratives, for new kinds of platforms, new kinds of subjects for new kinds of audiences, and new means of production for new means of consumption. And he'll tell a few jokes, probably. Okay, here's one for you. So this television producer dies, and when he comes to, he finds himself standing in front of a blank wall, and there's nothing but a touch screen. So since he knows what to do, he walks up and he touches the screen, and the screen clears, and he sees this rather benign old man who says, "Hi, how can I be of help to you today?" He says, "Well, you see, I'm a television producer, and I've just died, and here I am." And the old man on the screen says, "Oh, well, in that case, welcome. Now, we like to encourage a degree of choice amongst our constituency and our audience. So if you'd like to place your hands on the touch screen just below you," which he does, and the screen crackles into life. And in front of him, he sees a trailer that says, "Heaven." And when the image clears slightly, he sees a large panorama of clouds with little angels in nice dresses flying around, playing rather dreary music. It all seems rather slow, rather quiet, if very, very peaceful, with the sun going down in the background. So then the image clears, and a second one comes up, and it says hell. And when that screen clears, he can see a large, rolling set of golf courses. And on the golf courses are all the Hollywood moguls he's ever wanted to meet and a good few of the stars. And there are a whole bunch of golf caddies walking around, and they're all women, and they're all, of course, stark naked. And he goes, "Wow," he says, "this is hell?" And the voice says, "Yes, that's hell." And he says, "Okay, so I get to make a choice here?" And the voice says, "Yes, you get to make a choice here." He says, "All right, well, I take hell." And suddenly, a hole opens up in the cloud that he's standing on, and he plummets down stories and stories, meters and meters, kilometers and kilometers, until he finds himself in a large burning pit full of the sounds of screaming people in agony. And there in front of him is the large red devil with a pitchfork, which he drives into his eyeballs. And as he does that, the television producer says, "Hey, hold on, what about the green golf courses? What about the golf courses and the naked caddies and the stars?" And this voice comes down from heaven saying, "Ah, well, that was the pitch." Part of the Bertelsmann Group of media companies and directly owned by RTL, Europe's largest group of commercial broadcasters, Fremantle Media is one of the world's largest creators and distributors of screen-based entertainment brands. We are reflectors and creators of popular entertainment, and we believe that popular culture is a powerful and enlivening force holding and shaping the values, behaviors, and dreams of millions of people like you and me. Broadly speaking, the company is focused around two businesses, production and enterprises. Our production companies are in 22 countries, and we produce across all genres, although we focus on non-scripted primetime entertainment and factual entertainment, and on primetime and off-primetime daily dramas. Although we are best known now, perhaps, for our decade-long exploration of reality entertainment with formats like Idol, in all its 52 or so national incarnations, and like Got Talent, X Factor, and the slightly unlikely European and Australian hit Farmer Wants a Wife, we also own what is probably the largest and historically most important catalogue of classic three-round game shows, including The Price is Right, Family Feud, and Password, the legacy of the Goodson Company. Our enterprises business is divided between traditional tape distribution to some 150 territories and a licensing division. This exploits our own and third-party television brands off-screen and is increasingly working to build real-world events like parkour and hardbat table tennis in order to exploit them on and off-screen. The history of Fremantle Media is the story of the history of screen-based mass media entertainment in the West. Our German company UFA was the powerhouse studio which rivaled Hollywood in the early years of silent cinema, and which, amongst other things, made The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, the films of Leni Riefenstahl, and launched the career of Marlene Dietrich. In fact, Germany's leading daily soap operas, Guten Seiten, Schlechten Seiten, and Unter uns, which were launched by us in the early days of the emergence of commercial television in Europe, some quarter-century ago, are produced on the same lot on which Fritz Lang filmed Metropolis, and are to this day made by the same company. And these two series, in turn, are formats related to the Australian soaps The Restless Years and Neighbours, produced by the Australian pioneer Reg Grundy. Reg Grundy transformed the landscape of commercial television production in Australasia and the Pacific Rim, and the formats and methodology he bequeathed to the company have shaped European commercial drama production. In the years since the beginning of the 20th century, the company has grown and changed with mass media, and with hindsight, it is possible to identify key moments of disruptive change within the industry in the narrative of the company. In the last decade, for example, Fremantle Media has been through the transformative experience of developing, producing, and distributing idols, together with our partners at Simon Fuller's 19 Entertainment, an experience which has caused us to focus all of our experience in the business of format distribution and its possibilities on this emergent genre, and which has caused a major restructuring of the company conceptually and in practice. Idols and the collaborations with Simon Cowell which followed have caused the company to network itself in ways which mirror the globalization of screen-based entertainment. In terms of speed, demands for international brand conformity, and cost reduction through the transference of people and skill across boundaries. This has required us to focus more and more on questions of creativity and creative quality, and crucially has made us shift our focus away from strategies of buying creatives in the sense of hiring individuals, and caused us instead to focus on creative environments and networks within the hierarchy of the company globally. As a result of the success of Idols, we have been able to explore the relationship between the inspiring entertainment we seek to bring to the world on the one hand, and the real world itself on the other. Most recently, for example, Fremantle Media and 19 have collaborated with Disney to launch a two-part American Idol experience in Disney World, one of only two brands to have entered that outpost of the Kingdom of the Mouse, and the other being George Lucas's Star Wars. This has allowed Fremantle Media as a company to understand that we are, as I said at the beginning, a creator of brands.